Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to make the Wanderer bracelet set. And I've already made one of the two bracelets that we're going to need for this set, and it's using memory wire gemstone chips, which are turquoise gemstones, these wonderful spacer beads and rondelles by TierraCast, and then finishing it off are these charms from the Worlds Away collection by TierraCast. We have the North Star, the Hamsa hand, and then for this other bracelet, the arrow and the Naja. And then they do come in other finishes too, if you are interested in doing this in a different colorway with maybe even a different gemstone. So what you're going to need for this project, you're going to need some memory wire. So this is bracelet sized memory wire. It's great. It retains its shape. I've actually already used some off this coil and I still have a lot left. So you do get quite a bit. You're going to need 2 charms for each bracelet, some 4mm jump rings to connect your charms. And then here I have 3 different little petite beads. I've got a little spacer bead here. This is a 5mm. I have a 4mm Rondelle Rococo, or I should say Rococo Rondelle. And then in the Rococo style as well, there's a 6mm Rondelle. These are all TierraCast as well. I've got my turquoise gemstone chips, and they're wonderfully irregular, which is what you want in a gemstone chip. You want to create that interest of a texture and really a different look because they're not all uniform. Now this amount here combined with this amount here equaled 1 strand of turquoise chips on the Beadaholique website, and we'll have that information below in the video here. Now for your tools, you're going to need a pair of memory wire cutters. Do not use your regular cutters, you will damage them. So definitely memory wire cutters, a pair of round nose pliers, and a couple pairs of chain nose pliers. Let's go ahead and begin. So let's reference our sample so we can see what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing a bracelet that is 1.5 loops of the memory wire, and that's so that it adjusts to a lot of different wrist sizes, and it also will stay on when you wear it because it does have that nice half of a loop overlap. So that is definitely essential, and memory wire does retain its shape, which is great. Then we're going to be doing anywhere from 3, maybe 2, maybe 4 turquoise chips, and then spacing it with either a cluster of these wonderful little spacer beads or just a single one. And there's really no rhyme or reason in terms of which ones you put where or when you want to do them. It's really all preference. We just want to make sure we get that metal element throughout the design. And then of course we'll attach our charms with those jump rings. Let's start by cutting our memory wire. 1.5 loops. So if you look at the end of the memory wire, which is right here, where it overlaps on the coil is 1 loop. So if we were to cut it right here, that would be 1 loop. But we don't want 1 loop, we want 1.5. So we're going to go all the way across to the other side, and we don't want to cut our main loop, but right here we're going to cut. And that's going to give us 1.5 loops. So if you look at this, here's the end and here's the end. And we're going to start by creating a little simple wire loop on one end, which is going to act as our bead stopper, and then also the loop we're going to hang our charm from eventually. So grab it with the tip of your round nose pliers and twist it over. So we made almost like a little hook. And now we want to complete it so it is a loop. If you want, you can bend it back just slightly so it's a little bit more centered. Personal preference does not affect the design functionality at all. Okay, so now we're just going to start stringing on our assorted beads. I'm going to start with a metal element. And you'll see that when it gets to the base, it's not going to fall off because we have that loop. And now I'll add some of the turquoise. Maybe I'll do 2. Add a different little spacer, this one with the little beads on the outside. You'll see how this starts to take shape really quickly. Now I think I'm going to do a little cluster of 3 of these. So I have the little 4mm Rococo style rondelle, followed by the 6mm and another 4mm, and it just creates kind of an interesting little assortment right there. So the charms are from the TierraCast Worlds Away collection. That's what made me think that I really wanted a kind of, you know, like I named this the Wanderer, so I really wanted something that was very organic feeling, something that looked like something that a person who loves to travel might wear. Maybe they find these cool beads along the way, just something really interesting. So here we go. You can see what we're doing. And even though I'm pulling out the memory wire, it's not misshaping it at all. It'll bounce right back. And then I'm going to add a metal element, and I'm just going to add one bead now and add another metal element. So again, you're just trying to make sure you have metal throughout. And I think it's fun. You see that your sizes of gemstone chips vary quite a bit. So we have, like, you find a good example, a tiny one and a big one. I think it's nice to mix and match. And I'm just continuing to add these beads and scoot them down. And you can look as you go and see what they look like. And if you ever don't like something, you can just go ahead and take it off, slide it off, and start again. I'm going to do this all the way around the whole bracelet. If you're doing this bracelet at home and you buy all the supplies for this, and you're wondering in what order are you going to put these on, well, there is going to be a really nice there is going to be a really nice project image on the Beadaholique.com website, so you'll be able to see that and reference it. But really don't worry about it. Just put these beads where you want. Every couple gemstone chips. Have fun with the placement. I wouldn't worry about making it exactly like the one I'm demoing here. Okay, so we're almost done. We've strung almost all of our beads. We have maybe 3/4 of an inch left, so we do have a few more beads to string. But before we do that, we're going to start to, really it's a matter of wiggling our beads. There's no other way of putting it. You're going to twist and position your beads because you want them to sit on top of each other as nice and neatly as possible. And because the gemstone chips are irregular, sometimes if you just twist them a different way, they'll sit a little cleaner on top of the one below it. And that will free up some extra space here where you'll need to add more beads before you finish your bracelet off. So just go through, twist, wiggle. And as you're doing that, so you can see here how these are all nice and neat together. And that happens by just kind of twisting them a little bit. And it might mean you're only going to add 1 or 2 extra beads, but those 1 or 2 extra beads will prevent a gap forming later on of exposed wire. Okay, that's feeling pretty good and tight. And now we're ready to add our last couple beads, and you're going to stop when you have about 1/4 of an inch left. And since I started with a metal bead, I actually do want to end with a metal bead. That's just my preference. You don't have to. But when I think I'm about to that 1/4 inch mark, I'm going to end with that metal bead, and I'm going to create another simple wire loop. Just going to grab that wire, twist it around until it makes that nice loop. And now we're ready to add our charms. So to add our charms, we're going to be using open jump rings. Scoot this out of the way right now. So we have 4mm jump rings. And we're going to grab them on either side with a pair of chain nose pliers, twist open, grab our charm, place it on it, and twist it shut. And now we're going to grab another jump ring. And we're going to open it as well the same way. Grab the jump ring we just attached, and then hang this on our bracelet. And this here, let's see, you're going to just attach it to that loop you made and close it on up. There we go. And we're going to do that one more time. And the reason we're using 2 jump rings, you might have made other memory wire bracelets, you only used 1. It is because of the orientation of this little bail loop on these TierraCast charms. If you were to just add one jump ring, they would hang to the side. By adding two, you have them hang straight and facing forward. Okay, our second jump ring. Attach that one on. Close it on up. And we finished our bracelet. I'm going to put both of them on my wrist. And you see with memory wire, you can just twist them on. But there, we've got the set. So you can make one and keep one. You can wear both together. It's fun to have these little charms hanging out. Very quick and easy project. A great project for beginners if you're just starting out, and a really fun, quick project. Even if you've made a ton of jewelry before, these are really great, really wearable, and fun to stack and layer with other bracelets that you might have.